1, 2, 3, 4. Your face.
What's wrong with my face?
Amanda,
Yeah?
can you do it again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. See? See? See how easy she's making that look? You're making it look hard. It needs to look easy. Again.
Well, that was a clip from Backspot, a film showcasing the world of competitive cheerleading and the coming-of-age stories of young athletes navigating their lives, sexuality, and mental health.
Today, we are so excited to welcome the star and producer of Backspot, Devery Jacobs.
It's a wonderful film, but it isn't your typical cheerleading movie. And you play Riley, who's an ambitious, also anxious, queer athlete. So why was this particular story so important for you to tell?
Yeah, I mean, I originally collaborated with the director, D.W. Watterson, and we've been working on this film for 6.5 years now. Oh, wow. It was at TIFF last year, but for us, it was really important to show what the reality of cheerleaders actually is. And and DW had said to me, like, I want to shoot this film like a male director might shoot a football movie. Yeah. Because cheerleaders are serious athletes, and people don't put respect on these cheerleaders' names.
Well, we can see it. So, like, it is grueling, and what we see in this film, and if you really just watch any cheerleading, it is grueling on their bodies. And now, you were actually a former gymnast.
Yeah.
So what did shooting this film, what was the toll like on your body?
I mean, luckily, there were no injuries. I'm pretty good at, like, making sure I'm monitoring myself and that I'm able to do all the moves, but, like, there was intensive training for months leading up to it, personal training, physical therapy, open cheer, open gymnastics, and while I used to be a gymnast, I had to learn how to backspot. And a lot of people, the definition backspot is the position in cheerleading where you're essentially the foundation of the stunts and of the pyramid. And when you look at cheer, usually you look at the girl being thrown up in the air, but you're not looking at who's underneath and who's catching them and whose responsibility it is to uphold that team. And so for us, we really wanted to explore that. And so it was definitely the most physically demanding role of my career, and all of the stunts I actually performed, except for one, but we'll let people figure out which one.
Okay, I'll ask you backstage, but I think I might know. Do you know what struck me watching it is that many of the characters, they're queer, but it's not like a story plot. They're just out. They're just living their life, and they are who they are. For sure. So was that something like an intentional sort of thing in terms of telling the story, do you think?
Absolutely. I think there are so many films that are about coming out, and it's amazing. We need those films, but we've also seen them before, and it perpetuates the narrative of how hard it is to be queer, but it's not. Like, we have so much conflict, and we have also so much joy and so much living that we do even after coming out. I'm a queer person, and, like, for us, it was really more interesting to explore the dynamics between the queer coach, who is played by Evan Rachel Wood, and her relationship with Riley, and those generational gaps between the queer community.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Nicely said. Thank you. I like that.
So storytelling, it needs money to get these films made, and you've actually talked about how difficult it was to get funding for this film, and in fact, you told a story once of getting rejected because someone said, quote, "I don't understand why the protagonist is Indigenous." Okay. You are navigating still this Indigenous representation in Hollywood, and how are you doing that, especially when you hear things like that still?
I mean, I think it just proves to me how narrow of a view people have of Indigenous characters and actors and storytellers and things. Yeah. And I was a producer from day one on this project with DW in shaping it. So for me, I'm like, it's an Indigenous character because I was a part of shaping her journey, of shaping Riley's story. And I think for me, I really just look forward to being able to see stories where, yes, we're unpacking indigeneity and we're having these conversations that celebrate community and culture and growing up on reserves and reservations. But I'm also looking forward to seeing stories where we just get to be modern day people and where our identity doesn't influence the story. It just so happens to be an athlete who is queer, and it's telling the story of this athleticism and overcoming mental health who happens to be an Indigenous character. Because I grew up on my res, I was a gymnast, I went to different competitions and meets, and I'm also queer, but people weren't like, but why is she Native though? Like, it's just a part of who I am.
Right.
Well, listen, fans know and love you for playing Alora on Reservation Dogs, this critically acclaimed show. The series ended last year, but I understand you got a chance to direct an episode before the finale. So tell us about that experience.
I mean, being able to direct and have such a home field advantage with a series that I was so much a part of as an actor from the beginning, in season 2 as a writer, and then season 3 as a writer and then director, it just felt like a really full circle moment, especially getting to direct the episode that stars Sarah Podemski and Janae Collins, and sending Cookie off and sending Rita off on their journeys. It was something that I'll always hold near and dear to my heart, and I feel really special that I was able to work with them as actors and to be able to direct them.
Well, people are recognizing the work, because next week is a big one for you and the cast of Reservation Dogs. You guys were nominated for your first Emmy. Outstanding comedy. That's huge. Congratulations. So what does this kind of nomination mean to you?
I mean, for us, I feel like we haven't necessarily gotten the love from the Emmys in the past. There's been so much critical acclaim, so much acclaim from our communities who we made it for. But to be able to send it off in its final season and finally get that recognition feels like we should be there. It feels like Indigenous stories should be on this main stage.
Yeah. I love that. We've seen you represent a lot of amazing Indigenous talent on red carpets over the years. So can you give us a little tease about what we can expect to see in your Emmy outfit next weekend?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I'm still solidifying my look, but you'll have to stay tuned and see.
I love a tease.
Oh my goodness. Devery, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So be sure to check out Backspot. It is streaming across Canada today on Crave. And if you haven't seen Reservation Dogs, you can catch the complete series also now on Crave.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.